What's the best advice you've been given from your DC in your scouting journey? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So I joined scouting as an adult. I never had any young person experience. I was never a Beaver Couple scout. So I came fresh with no ideas about scouting. And who did I turn to ask advice and answer all those questions? The DC. It was the man, the savior, all those dark times when I couldn't think of the answer. He gave me some amazing advice, and I jotted those points down, and I'm going to share them with you. My top 10 best advice from the DC. So these are in no particular order, but let's start with the first one. Get to know the young people in your section and find out what they actually want to do for their program. So there's no point just doing badges for you, the leader, because it's easy, but that actually might not be inspiring for your section and the young people. So find out what badges they want to do and run it with them. It's all about youth shape and getting the youth involved in scouting. Get to know the other leaders in your group. They might have a wealth of knowledge and experience, and they might have that job that you might need to get them to run a badge for you. So if they're a mechanic, a chef, bingo, you got those badges sorted. And you never know when you're going to have to ask them to back you up, get them to cover you while you can't make scouts or whatever. They'll probably know the answer. Ask your leaders in your group. Read POR. Boring, I know, but they're going to answer all the questions that you need. And if you can't find it in POR, go online or give Gilwell HQ, give them a call. And their hotline is amazing. They will help you with all those questions, no matter how silly it is. It's always better to be safe than sorry and ask those silly questions. Next bit of advice the DC gave me, this has just been amazing. Don't make things difficult for yourself. Some of the best programs are the most easiest ones that haven't taken hours to research and set up. It's okay to have a games night and just think about the weather. This was the best advice that he gave me. If it's raining at school and they've never had playtime, just have a games night, because those young people haven't been able to get outside and burn the energy. And if you've planned an intricate badge night or whatever you're going to do, they just need to burn some energy. So scrap the night and have a games night. If you're not sure, ask. That's probably one of the best bits of advice I was given. He also gave me a bit of advice of find a scouting mentor. So I've got a really good friend of mine, Terry Longhurst. He's probably mentioned in nearly every vlog of mine. He's the go-to man that I ask for when I'm struggling or I need some advice. He'll tell me straight. And I also found the local troops, just going around seeing how they do it. And you'll also find out that each scout group would do it in all different ways. Flag break is done differently, falling in is done differently, playing games is done differently. So there's not one way to do scouting. There's a million and one ways of doing scouting. It's just what fits you. Now, this really seems stupid, but it's really simple, is don't invent the wheel. Those programs have probably been done hundreds, if not thousands of times. Okay, maybe not the new badges, but the majority of badges, learning about the Welsh membership badge, that's been done before. I've done a vlog about that. Just go online and have a look. See if you can get some ideas, some inspiration, some games on how to play orienteering and map reading or something. Keep life simple. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Now this one, scout terminology, drove me insane, and it still does to this very day, to be honest with you, and particularly for parents. There's so many terminology: GSL, POR, SL, you name it. There's a scouting terminology. So try to learn that terminology. And if you have to explain to someone, particularly a parent, don't use terminology. Don't just say, "Oh, the GSL will help you." Explain. The group scout leader, he's the chap who runs the scout group. He's probably the best person to speak to. Or phone the DC, the district commissioner. So try and keep scouting terminology to a minimum, or to people that understand it. Now, one more bit of advice before we finish this one is ignore advice that's given to you. Well, in my day, we've all spoken to those leaders. I probably said it myself, to be honest. But scouting is a movement, so we should be moving forward. And some people are really stuck in the past. So when I took my scouts to Sky Studios to learn about technology, I was given some old looks and some frowns on by some older scout leaders in the district, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. So sometimes those oldies aren't always right, but we need those oldies for that bit of advice. So don't boot them up and don't be nasty to them. Just sometimes the advice isn't always up to date. So the last bit of advice my DC told me all those years ago, 13, 14 years ago, is have fun. Scouting is all about having fun, having experiences, making those memories. And when it isn't fun, maybe it's time to take a step back, take some time out. If it's not fun for you, it's probably not going to be fun for the young people. So have fun in scouting. That's what it's all about. Remember, we're volunteers. We're not paid to do 2 hours a week. Have fun, enjoy scouting, and make those memories for the young person and for you. There we go, guys. The advice my DC gave me and a little bit of extra things that I've tagged on. But if you were giving some advice to a newbie scout leader, what would it be? Comment below your bits of advice that I haven't covered today. Don't forget, subscribe to Big Man in the Woods, and I'll see you next time here. And check this one out, guys. It's all about advice for first-time scout leaders.